I have a confession. I don't love the PRX. This isn't some April Fool's thing, and I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but when I put this watch on, nothing. And I see like reviewers around town creaming their pants about this watch, and I just didn't get it. So I forced myself to wear it for 2 weeks, every single day. And you know what? After wearing this for 2 weeks, still nothing. But I have noticed 3 flaws that I want to articulate in this video. Hey guys, I'm Max and this is Watch Crunch. Do you want to get the first-hand lowdown on a watch? Then you should ask your question on watchcrunch.com. Honestly, it's probably better than any answer you'll get on YouTube. Not loving something is not the same as hating something, despite what the black and white internet will have you believe. Hating means you rather see that thing vanish from the face of the earth, and that's not how I feel about the PRX. The Tissot PRX in many ways is an astonishing achievement. In a world where having an integrated bracelet gives you the license to charge the equivalent of a house, the PRX affords a similar experience to, say, college students majoring in art history. Let's look at a few examples. The Nautilus 5711 retailed at 30 grand and easily traded at over 100. Figures were similar for the AP Royal Oak, from which the PRX gets its style inspiration from. Okay, how about cheaper options? The Gerard Perregaux Laureato, gorgeous watch, $12,000. So is the new IWC Ingenieur. Very excited they brought this one back and love how they didn't mess too much with the original design. A little bit less excited at the price. Even something like the Zenith Defy is $8,000 to $9,000. So in comparison, well, there is no comparison. The PRX is like 5% the price of those other watches. And it's not like the PRX feels cheap. The Stellar integrated bracelet is airy with a comfortable drape and a gradual taper to a butterfly clasp. So nothing to hate here. The links, they're brushed with like a peekaboo polished edge between them. But where that bracelet meets the case, we get to our first problem. See, the tonneau-shaped case is extremely flat, and the first link in the bracelet does not articulate at all. This extends the case, creates a functional lug-to-lug of over 51 millimeters. You're gonna have to get ready for some unsettling gaps at the corners. Now, I know it's not fair to compare the PRX with those other watches, but it's kind of a fight that Tissot picked with that dial. You might say the Royal Oak is angular as well in terms of case shape, but that watch feels purposely angular, whereas the PRX case feels kind of boxy and unrefined. Well, just get the smaller 35 mil then. Well, then you have to settle for the quartz. Now, even if they release an automatic in 35, it's still awfully small for a sports watch. I mean, when are manufacturers going to realize that like 37 to 39 is the perfect case size, and they can stop making a 35 and a 40 and just give us one nice in between in like 38? It'll make a lot of people happy. I have to admit though, the dial on the PRX is impressive. You're not going to find a prettier finish at this price. Even under high magnification, the square tapisserie dial, it doesn't break down. And more you can get this dial in a variety of colors. Unfortunately, against that auspicious backdrop, we get some rather bland dial furniture. I especially find the minute and hour hands just flat. They're loomed, they have a polished stripe down the middle, but it doesn't hide that they look extremely two-dimensional, like stamped out pieces of steel. Stick hands don't have to be boring, just ask the Datejust. I find the contrast between the three-dimensional dial and the paper-thin hand stack just stark and unattractive. Whew. Now, before we get to my biggest gripe, guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. Consider subscribing also to offset all the PRX owners that have left the building. One frequent talking point I do hear is that amazing Powermatic 80 movement, and it's not bad to look at through a display case back. A thin, Swiss automatic with 80 hours of power. If that sounds too good to be true, I'm sorry to tell you it is. So good things first. I hear that it's rather accurate, and that's a good thing because they've removed the regulator, so you can't adjust this watch's timing after the fact. And there's only a couple of ways you can double the power output of an ETA without violating the laws of physics. You can slow down the beat rate, which they've done from 4 Hz to 3, and you can make moving parts lighter, which they also did. But this part they don't advertise because they didn't machine the pallet fork thinner or skeletonize the escape wheel. They just made them out of plastic. Yes, like Dick Cheney, the heart of your PRX is plastic. So you're not gonna find someone to service this watch after your 4-year interval is up. This is a movement that's designed to be thrown out and replaced. And that's a shame, because one of the silly things that us watch nerds boast about is our little mechanical watches is better than your Apple Watch because it's not designed to be obsolete. If I take care of my timeless little machine and get it cleaned and oiled, it might just outlast my lifetime. Well, not the case here. But maybe we're being a little too harsh. After all, it's just a $600 watch. I mean, Tissot has 180 years of history, so that's gotta be worth something as well, right? So I think for an integrated watch with loads of 70s nostalgia, the PRX has unbeatable value. And if you're not like me, compulsively looking for shortcomings, and you can just focus on the beautiful dial, its versatile style, the superb finishing, then you've won the game. Congratulations. Turn off this video, go live your life. But I look at the details, and contrary to what people on the internet will have you believe, the PRX does have flaws. And those flaws keep me from really connecting with this watch. Okay, Max, you say, I have $500. What do you suggest I buy instead? Well, it's true. You're not gonna find another integrated bracelet option from a big brand for that price, but if you can give up a bit of brand equity, I always say that this is the price point where micro brands shine. I made a whole video about a collection I built out of $500 micro brands. I'll put that in the description below. But honestly, I take a look at the latest Laurier Falcon. That's an Explorer 1016 inspired 36mm sweetheart of a watch with a waffle dial and proportions to die for. I feel something when I pick up the Laurier Falcon, a feeling I just don't get with the PRX. But guys, I want to hear from you. If you have a PRX and you're still watching, do you still love it? What happens after that honeymoon phase? Let me know on watchcrunch.com. I'll put a link in the description below for a more extended discussion. But hey, where will you love? I'll see you in the next one.